Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What makes a great actor? Is it charisma? Is it someone that lives and breathes the characters they play? For centuries, the actor has made us feel all the emotions a human can feel. This episode, we are concentrating on actors that are still plying their trade. Here's Neil with 10 actor facts.
Thank you very much, Pav. So here we go. Let's start with Nicolas Cage. Turned down the part of Neo in The Matrix.
What's in the box?
Bill Murray doesn't have an agent. You can leave him a voicemail message hoping that he'll like the project and we'll get back to you.
There's no crying in baseball.
And Jim Carrey was Disney's first choice to play Captain Jack Sparrow.
I'm the dude.
And at the age of 16, Christopher Walken worked as an assistant lion tamer in a traveling circus to help make ends meet.
Is that gun just for show? Or do you get to shoot people once in a while?
Michael Caine started acting because the drama classes were full of pretty girls and he wanted to get laid.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole.
Jackie Chan's family was so poor he was almost sold to a wealthy British couple when he was still a baby.
You can't handle the truth.
Morgan Freeman didn't appear in a movie until the age of 34 and didn't get a big role until he was 52 with Driving Miss Daisy and Glory.
Who the hell said I got to like it?
For the movie My Left Foot, Daniel Day-Lewis, as good as lived in on the wheelchair during filming to stay in character. The slump posture that he adopted for his character gave him 2 broken ribs.
She got a great ass.
And Robert Downey Jr. was once arrested after driving naked in his Porsche with cocaine, heroin, and a 357 Magnum.
I drink your milkshake.
And Robert De Niro was so dedicated to prepare for his roles, he actually gained 60 pounds for Raging Bull, lived in Sicily, Italy for The Godfather Part 2, ground his teeth for Cape Fear, became a cab driver for Taxi Driver, and learned to play the saxophone for New York, New York.
You talking to me?
Perfect timing for that last one.
Yes.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's another one of the biggies. I always call this one like the biggie. The top 10 living actors. And hello, Neil. Welcome.
Hello, Pav. Well, thank you very much.
That's okay. Our guest this week is quite apt because here in the UK, we've been celebrating royalty for the last week or so. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you all please be upstanding for the Viscountess herself, Her Royal Highness Donna, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hello, peasant.
You can't see me under the camera, but I am curtsying as we speak.
Oh, that's so kind of you. I'm going to go up in a dirigible later and throw gold doubloons down to the peasantry. So.
And you don't know how cramped it here is in the studio with all these people with horns. Hey, we'll ding that one. We'll ding that one. So, Donna, how are you?
Quite well. Distraught to not be with you in the UK during all of these momentous happenings, but missing and loving you and delighted to see you.
Yes, it was very, again, apt as well because I spent last week in London. I spent it near your home, so it's a shame we couldn't have just, I was going to say hook up, that's the wrong thing to say. I didn't mean it like that.
But you were too busy preparing that service, Pav. You wouldn't have had time.
Well, that is true. That is true. Trying to find a place for Harry to sit is the hardest thing.
Nobody wanted to sit with Harry.
Do you know what? Did you watch any of it, Donna? Did you watch any of it?
We watched all of it.
Did
Absolutely. And we dressed up and we wore hats and gloves and we made coronation quiche, and long broad beans are terrible in a quiche. I don't know who's going to get fired at the palace for that, but that was a dreadful idea. Stick to some sticky toffee pudding or something.
Can you tell me, Donna? I was watching. I'm not massively interested in it, but I sat watching a little bit of it with my wife.
Okay.
Was it a coincidence that Princess Anne was wearing a hat with a massive feather in front of Harry? Now, I don't know. I'm Mr. Conspiracy. What was your thoughts on that? Because every photograph, you couldn't see Harry.
I did have feelings about it. I felt that the cameras definitely panned away from him throughout, because not wanting to take attention away from what was really happening. I think he creates a lot of, just his presence creates a lot of distraction. And so I don't really blame them for setting him behind Anne's giant hat. I did think at some point it would have been polite of her to just take it off and put it on her lap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I did think it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious to see Katy Perry, like she was wearing that giant Stephen Jones saucer hat, and she couldn't see under it, and so she kept having to go like this, like the whole time, and it was just so creepy.
Did you watch any of it, Neil?
I did. I watched quite a bit of it actually, and I have to say, didn't they? They've talked a lot about this in the press afterwards. Is that with what happened with Harry and Princess Anne, it happened at Meghan at the funeral, didn't it? Is that she was accidentally obscured? Was it with a candle?
Oh,
so every
really?
time
is
it
that
went
true?
round, yeah, they've been talking about it again.
It's not a coincidence, is it? It's
I
not a
don't think
coincidence.
so. I don't think
Wow.
Anyway, we are here to talk about living actors. Now, I made the boo-boo of putting out that it was just actors, which then made Donna freak out because she'd already sorted out her top 10.
There's no room if you're going to do greatest actors of all time. I mean, how do you even possibly do that? You can't do that. It's not manageable. You'd have to do 100. So if we only have 10, I thought, my God, I have to start killing off most of the people on my list. So thank you for making the accommodation for
That's
me.
okay, because to be fair, the top 10 living actors was hard enough. So to whittle it down from greatest actors of all time. So how hard did you find doing your top 10, Donna?
It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, because in my head I've always said, well, this is my favorite actor, this is my favorite whatever, this is my favorite, and I really had to give it some thought, because in your head these are all your favorite actors and you don't start counting them, and then you go, well, that's 40 of them and they don't fit on a list of top 10. And the other thing was difficult is that Bean and I have radically different tastes, so every time I would put somebody on my list, he goes, well, I wouldn't have put them on that list, I can't believe you. And he'd say somebody and I go, well, that's not even on my list, and he'd go, you're insane. So it was a lot of like drama in my house.
I bet. Neil, how was it for you?
Always a challenge on these sort of things. It's the same adage, isn't it, when they ask you what's your favorite film? Well, it depends on the day and what I've just watched. So I would say probably my number one would stick the same, but anything from 2 to 10, depending on what week it is, would probably vary.
Right. I will, for total sort of transparency, I will tell everybody now, Harrison Ford is not in my top 10.
Not in my top 10.
No, because there's a difference, but I think, between great actors and movie stars. Movie stars are people that are movie stars, they're not necessarily great actors. So for me, I've chosen people that have had varied roles that, are completely different. They maybe live the roles. They are 1 minute someone who's a maniac, so next minute playing a comedy, next minute action, and totally believable. Because I think we talked about it with a couple of actors, Neil, didn't we, a few weeks back, that there are some actors you can tell are acting. Yeah. And there are some actors that are just naturally great, and they make it look easy. And then when you try and do that, you just sound like you're reading something off of a card, where they make it like it's just natural. So looking forward to this. So Donna, give us your number 10. Oh,
okay. I didn't know we were going to start with number 10, but I have 2 at number 10, and there's a reason. Okay. Can I have 2 at number 10? Can I have 2 people at number 10?
Of course you can. You're royalty. You can do what you like. You make the rules.
You just have to
shout
off with their heads and you'd be gone.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously. Don't make me go there. So my number 10 is Aaron Taylor Johnson. And you may know him as the very young English actor who married a twice as old as him American director, Sam Taylor. And he has been in everything from Anna Karenina, where he played Vronsky, the dashing lover. He was in Tom Ford's Nocturnal Animals as this just vicious murderer and rapist. And he was so bone chilling and raw in that. And then also just recently in Bullet Train as
That's right.
part of twin brothers that play hire killers for hire, and he was Tangerine. And of course I put him with number 10 with Brian Tyree Henry, who played Lemon, his brother, because they were just together. They were like one fantastic acting machine. So I thought they were perfection. Bullet Train is not the type of film I would ever consider myself like the audience for, but I was so captivated by the both of them. They're definitely stars on the rise. So they're my number 10.
Kick-Ass as well. Have you ever seen Kick-Ass, Donna?
Yes, where he was Kick-Ass.
That was fantastic. And he is tipped one of the favourites to be the new Bond, isn't he, apparently?
He is.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, it seems to be one of the favourite names coming out.
He's lovely. He's absolutely lovely. I think, and as he grows older, he just really matures into this fantastic actor. So he's my 10.
He's a bit of a git as well, because he's got everything. He's got the looks, the acting ability, and
he's one of those, isn't he? Yeah, it's got everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Share it around a bit.
Yeah, go on, Neil, you're number 10.
So I'm going in with a big hitter straight away. I'm going to go in with Morgan Freeman straight away at my number 10. Okay. Now, not everything he's been in has been a success, but he's always been a success. So if you think about like Bruce Almighty, Evan Almighty, he was very good at playing God, and he was probably in Bruce Almighty, probably Steve Carell was the highlight, but even in Evan Almighty, he was the highlight. But then we got to take in his consideration of, like we spoke about it earlier, Glory, Driving Miss Daisy, Seven, the performances he puts in there. And there's something when you watch him that he's very, very calming. He's the to me, he's the sort of person I'd want to go and have a in-depth chat with to make me feel better, not him. But I love him, and I'm yet to watch. Is it A Good Person? The one he's just done with Florence Pugh, and everybody says he's magical in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to see him, and I highly admire him as an actor and as a person. When he's interviewed, he's great. You know, he's got a sense of humor, as well as being very knowledgeable and very, very clever when asked a good question.
Isn't it Mark Kermode, the British film critic, that says about the 27%ers?
That's it.
There are certain actors that when they're in a movie, even if they're just like a cameo, will lift the movie an extra 27%.
That's it.
And I think Morgan Freeman's one of those guys that even if he's in it, say like The Dark Knight, where he's not a main person, but you know that it doesn't matter how bad the movie is, if he's in it, there's something worth looking at just because he's in it.
And if you think about Shawshank, if it wasn't Morgan Freeman playing it, it wouldn't have worked as a movie.
No.
So his whole voiceover and his whole storytelling in that is probably 90% of what makes the movie as great as it is.
Yeah. And the voice. I mean, the voice is
the voice.
Just...
I mean, he's God.
He is.
There's a reason he's God.
Yeah.
He is. Okay, my number 10. Now, I'm not sure how you pronounce, whether it is Ralph or is it Rafe, but Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe
Fiennes. Now, here's someone that is absolutely exactly what I said earlier on about an actor. To go from someone that can play that character in Schindler's List, that evil character, to then the character in the Grand Budapest Hotel, or he's M in the latest iteration of James Bond. You can't tell who the real person is because he is just able to blend into these characters so well. I mean, I'm assuming... No, not assuming. I mean, In Bruges is another one.
Oh, yeah.
He plays the bad guy in that. And it's just... it's like they're completely different people, but it's all being played by the same person. There's a lot of people in my top 10 that I could pick. Just one performance would put them in my top 10. And I think Schindler's List performance is one performance that would put anybody into a greatest actors top 10.
I mean, if you think about The English Patient, how
English
good he was
patient.
in that. He was superb. I love a film he did called Strange Days that never seems to
Yes.
get the credit that it deserves because he's
That was
fantastic.
was that a Wachowski's?
No,
movie?
that was
No.
who directed Zero Dark 30? Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow. Oh,
Oh,
right.
Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
movie.
And of course, he was wonderful in The Menu.
He was the
So-
highlight of that
See,
film.
I haven't
Yes,
seen
chef.
that yet. I haven't seen that yet. Is that really good? Is it?
He
Brilliant.
is.
He's marvelous.
Is he? Is that a
Mhm.
movie? I thought that's not a TV series. That's a movie, is it?
Yeah, it's a
Movie.
movie.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
And read
I'm gonna
about the
have-
history of it. It's great to find out how many times they've tried to make this movie. It's one of those ones that have been in development hell for about 30
Oh,
years.
really? Really?
So-
Okay.
Wow.
It's quite interesting to read
I'll have to
about the
give that one
history
a
of the
go then,
movie.
because I do like him. Right then, Donna, your number 9, please.
My number 9, and I hope that this isn't too low down on my list and offends your countrymen, but Kenneth Branagh.
Okay.
Fantastic choice.
I love myself some Kenneth Branagh. I've actually met Mr. Branagh. He came to America to do a book tour for Much Ado About Nothing, and he wrote me a note to get me out of my contracts class in law school so that I could be there to visit him. He wrote, "Please excuse Donna from contracts today. I'm a very important English actor and she must come visit me." So
Wonderful.
signed, Sir Kenneth Branagh. And I was like, if you're a knight, you're a
There
cool
you-
guy automatically. So,
Absolutely.
but I think he's so brilliant. I mean, I think Henry V is amazing. Who doesn't? I think his Hamlet is beautiful. I think even as Poirot now in all of the Agatha Christie murders, he's fantastic with that amazing co-star of a mustache. But I think also just when he played Laurence Olivier in My Week with Marilyn, it was such a beautiful performance. The only thing that he has against him, and that's maybe why he's lower on my list, is that Dead Again is so unwatchable and unforgivable in every possible way that I just can't. I just shake with fear from that. But I think he's just marvelous. So
He plays a really good villain as well. Do you remember the? Did you see Tenet? With
Yes.
Oh, I did see Tenet.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the
Christopher
Russian
Nolan.
bad guy, wasn't he? And he did it so well.
I completely forgot that. How adorable of me. Wow.
Much
I'll have
Ado
to go
About
back and
Nothing.
rewatch.
Much Ado About Nothing is a great movie. I mean, that's got so many stars in it. But that
Well,
was,
and his Henry V.
Doesn't it though?
yeah. I haven't seen his Boris Johnson yet. Oh, that sounds dirtier than it
Oh, I
should
watched
do.
that.
I must admit. I have.
We
Have you
haven't
seen?
watched it.
Have you not seen it either? Have you
I've
seen it, Neil?
No,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
yet.
His performance, you forget it's Kenneth Branagh completely.
Really?
That's all I'll say. But it does help with the makeup. Makes him look very good. You know, very much like Boris. But yeah, it's very good.
Right, and obviously he
Very
got all
good.
muscled up for Frankenstein as well, didn't he? That was
Oh, yeah.
Frankenstein was
with-
fantastic.
with Robert De
fantastic.
Niro. Yeah, that was a
Right.
real.
And he
He's
directed it as
marvelous.
well, didn't he?
He did. He did.
Oh, he's a
fair
man
play.
of many talents.
I know.
Damn him.
Yeah.
With
I
his
know.
directing and
Yeah. I went to the cinema when they used to do the Shakespeare live, but you go to the cinema to watch it, and it was his Macbeth, and it was mesmerizing.
Wow.
I mean, I don't understand how actors can remember all of that dialogue, and in the way that Shakespeare writes his dialogue,
Right.
it was just like spellbinding. Just to watch people do that, it's just unbelievable. Oh, good one. Okay, then Neil, your number 9, please.
so this is a mega star, but I think he is a fantastic actor, and that's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. That's my number 2.
Oh,
That's my number
Wow.
yeah. Well,
Tom
I
Hanks
just,
is not on my list.
2. Wow.
but I do think it's his earlier
wanna fight?
performances. Yeah, you want some? Yeah, I think his most recent performances in the Apple TV stuff hasn't been particularly great. I mean, he's always watchable, let's be honest, but it's his
Yeah.
early stuff, right back from, you know, when he was doing Splash and his comedy stuff. Even if you watch Bachelor Party,
Bachelor Party.
he's so
Right.
good in that. It's so he's sort of relatable. You can relate to him. But then it's smaller stuff like The Road to Perdition. What's it called? Richard. What's the boat one? Richard Phillips, Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips.
Richard Phillips?
Well, that was his name.
Was that his name? Was his name Richard Phillips? Oh, right.
Yeah. That's all I can remember. Captain Phillips.
That's got one of those moments, that moment at the end when the nurse is checking him out and he just breaks down.
Yeah.
That for me is a part that could be in the top, make him in my top 10 just for that specific moment.
It's real emotion, isn't it? Real emotion, and how he does it. But he does that so well, doesn't he? And even when he's a voice actor, in Toy Story and Woody,
Toy Story is so great.
Yeah,
he's so good at all of that. But yeah, he's an icon as well as being a legend, isn't he? So, and a great actor, and a double time Oscar winner. He did it 2 years on the bounce, didn't he? He did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
he did
Philadelphia,
and then Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
So they thought he was going to do a Spencer Tracy or whatever, didn't they? And get the.
Did you ever see him in That Thing You Do?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
he's kind of like the 50s music. He wrote all the music for that.
He did.
I mean, I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. It was so 50s. It was so like bouncy and fun, and it was just lovely. And I just thought, wow, he really did everything in that.
He directed that
Phenomenal.
as well, didn't
he? I think. He did direct that, yeah. And his Captain Parker in Elvis.
Oh, in Elvis.
Oh, right.
In Elvis.
That was good. No.
Oh.
I thought it was a great performance.
Donna, not so sure.
I thought Austin Butler was riveting. I mean, maybe it's just the prosthetics kind of obscuring all of it. It felt so creaking to me. I don't know.
Right.
It just felt strange.
I can see what you mean.
It felt strange, you know?
I think the trouble is that you could still see Tom Hanks in it.
Yes.
So instead of it looking like a different person, it looked like Tom Hanks in prosthetics, which takes you out of it a little bit. I like to say, I thought the movie was really great. I really did. I was very surprised.
But if you watch some interviews with Colonel Tom Parker, he does sound a lot like him. He's done the voice really well. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, yeah, that was my number 2. Okay, my number 9. It's a movie top 10, so there has to be something to do with Star Wars in there for me. So I'm going to go for Adam Driver. It's not just Star Wars. I think he is the best thing about Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, just because he takes it so seriously.
Yes.
That even the ridiculous stuff that he has to do and say, he does it straight. He does it with menace. He does it with feeling. But A Marriage Story, I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I don't know why he didn't win an Oscar for that. I really don't know why. I watched that movie and I thought, well, this isn't going to be interesting. And again, I thought, oh my God, this performance. You're just looking inside this guy's soul and he's just playing it so well. But he also can do, I can't remember the name of the movie that he did with Bill Murray, but it was like the zombie movie.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, and Tilda Swinton was in that. It was,
yes.
Something
dead, wasn't it?
Guys Don't Die. Or
something like that. But it's a totally different thing. That he's a Black Klansman is another great
he's so
movie.
Good in that, yeah.
That he was so good in.
Right.
So there's so many different things that he does, and it's not like he's playing the same character in every movie. He can, he can be evil, he can be a little bit wacky and zany, or he can just be downright like heartbreaking. So for me, it was a bit of a newer.
Has anybody seen 65?
No, we nearly rented it last week for
right.
something to watch,
that?
But he's an astronaut that gets sent to Earth 65 million years ago. I don't know whether it's by mistake or not, and he has to fight dinosaurs. Yeah, he has to fight dinosaurs basically.
Amazing.
But I hadn't heard good things about it, so I thought I'm not gonna.
But if Adam Driver's in it,
that's the thing.
It.
Yeah,
he's so good.
I should have done.
Do you guys have Girls in the UK?
It is on one of the streaming services, but I've never watched it.
I mean, that's where he got his start as the brooding, creepy boyfriend of Leah Dunham, and he's brilliant. He's so fantastic. You can't take your eyes off him. He steals every single scene.
See, I get confused with all the different. There's Girls. Yeah. There's all these different TV shows with girls titles. and I always get confused.
Are you
I know,
overwhelmed?
I know.
Are uteruses getting in your way? I'm sorry.
Such a simple soul. I just the word "girls" just confuses me.
Don't keep saying it, Pav. You'll get us cancelled.
I get all hot and
Girls,
flustered.
girls.
That was an
Over
Elvis
18
movie.
girls.
Yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. Yes, let's stipulate that. Okay, yeah, let's move on quickly. Donna, number 8, please.
Number 8 is Christian Bale.
Ooh.
Oh. I get all fluttery about him from when he was Laurie in Little Women. I mean, he was the rich, beautiful boy that lived next door that was so in love with Joe, and she just wanted to be friends, and I just wanted to shake her and throttle her and go, what are you talking about? But I mean, he's been everything. He's been American Psycho's Patrick Bateman, which I love him, where he's like, calls his lawyer and he's like, hey, it's Patrick. I just want to let you know I killed some people. And I thought as my lawyer, you should know. It's like, he's so menacing in that. And then and in Batman, of course, he's phenomenal. American Hustle with his comb over, like this, he's got to spray it and comb it over, and he's got to, oh my God, it was just. And then The Machinist, where, of course, he lost 50 pounds or something to play this just wrecked man. I think that he is just the finest. Absolutely the best.
The Big Short is my favorite of his.
Oh, yeah.
With Steve Carell. I still don't understand what the hell's going on in that movie. even
he's
with,
riveting.
Yeah, even with I forget her name now. She's in a bubble bath explaining stuff. The Australian actress, the really hot
Margot
one,
Robbie.
Margot Robbie is explaining all
Robbie.
this. Yeah, every so often they'll have like someone very famous to explain to you what's going on. Still don't understand, but that is such a good movie, and he's great in that.
Yeah,
he really
he's
is.
marvelous.
Is he your favourite Batman, Donna?
I think, well, I don't know, because I thought Michael Keaton was the best Batman. I truly do. When he's like, my life is very complicated. I'm Batman. That's there's something, he and Michelle Pfeiffer have something that hasn't been replicated, but I think that he is a beautiful iteration of that character.
Yeah. Excellent. Go on then, Neil,
Great
number
choice.
8.
Speaking of Batman, mine's Jack Nicholson.
That's my number 3.
Oh, hello. Jack Nicholson's become a bit of a parody of himself in the sense of some of his performances. When we speak of Jack Nicholson, we think of the OTT stuff, A Few Good Men being one of them. But we have to remember that he's put in performances like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I think is absolutely phenomenal movie.
Brilliant.
I think his Joker is the definitive Joker. I have literally last week just watched those two Batmans, Michael Keaton's Batmans, and I have to say, watching them with fresh eyes, they knock the Christopher Nolan Batmans out of the water because they're comic book movie adaptations where Nolan brought them too real. Anyway, that's a different rant. But Jack Nicholson, 5 Easy Pieces, Easy Rider, even when he was right back there, and even when you first saw him in Little Shop of Horrors, the Roger Corman version, you knew that he was star quality back then. Not only his looks, but his performances are great. But I still do think probably The Shining is the pinnacle of his performance because it is so good. How he slowly unravels in front of you. I think it's amazing. What about you, Pav? What do you think is?
First date I ever went on was to go and see Pritz's Honor, which was a stupid movie. It really was a bad movie to take a girl to go and see. It really was. It was. I mean, we never went out for a second date, so that showed you just how good the movie was. It was nothing to do with me. It was because the movie was so bad. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think the trouble is some of his performances almost get watered down to just, here's Johnny, or you can't handle the truth. Where if you look back at the actual performances, some of them are really layered, some of them are just manic. The Departed,
very heavy, like The Pledge, the Sean Penn movie. That was Pledge. Really heavy, wasn't it? And then About Schmidt, which was really funny but so sweet.
Yeah, but he also looks like he's a guy that likes having. Obviously, he's a guy that likes having fun off screen as well as.
And it was nice to see pictures of him last week. Was it at
the basketball?
The basketball game.
Yeah, people haven't seen him for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to see him.
Yeah, it is nice. But yeah, I mean, he is. We hate using the I word, but he is iconic. I think So many
For
great
sure.
great roles. My number 8. Brad Pitt. I'm going to go for Brad Pitt in my number 8. He's somebody that's a very much, I think, like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp isn't in my top 10 in the fact that they could very easily spend their career playing pretty boy roles and playing very heroic. Just look at me. Haven't I got wonderful bone structure? Haven't I got a wonderful body? I'm not talking about me. Obviously, I'm talking about Brad Pitt. But he didn't. He's chosen very, very unattractive roles, if you like. There's roles that he's played, ugly roles. He's played dirty, gritty roles. Seven, Fight Club. Roles that show you what a great actor he is. Even in not so good movies like Troy.
I love Troy.
He's fun. I think he's fantastic in that.
I love that.
Yeah, he is so good in that.
Johnny Suede. Do you remember that one?
Oh my God,
that
no.
one that mixed in with the cartoons as well.
Oh my God, yeah, I'd forgotten about that one.
He's brave in what he does.
Oh my God, yeah. But I think as an actor, in the stuff that he's done with Tarantino, I think he hasn't done a bad movie with Tarantino. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he is, I think, the best thing in the movie. It was well worth his Oscar. Inglourious Bastards, he's fantastic. What's the tank movie? Not
Fury.
Fury. What a performance! What a performance in that movie. I mean, and that's got loads of great performances in. But no, I really, really like Brad Pitt. I love the fact that in all the Ocean's movies, he's doing nothing but eating. So it even gives someone like me hope that even if you eat, you might end up looking like Brad Pitt. So that's why I'm.
How did you feel about Legends of the Fall, Pav, with those luscious locks?
Oh my God! I mean, that's something else, isn't it? I mean, that hair and Interview with a Vampire as well as one. That's another one.
Great movie.
Anyway,
are you okay? Do you need a moment?
I'm fine.
Yeah, it sounded more like a loving
in here all of a sudden. Okay, then Donna, your number 7, please.
My number 7. I mean, he could have been my number 1, but there are just so many good ones. Bill Nye. I love Bill Nye. I love him so much. I mean, Shaun of the Dead. Let's just go through it. Shaun of the Dead, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter movies, Love Actually, as that amazing, wicked, drug-addicted, alcoholic rock star. So fantastic. Notes on a Scandal as the cuckolded husband. I mean, I just think, and Their Finest, which is something that I don't know if you've seen. It's a film about during the Dunkirk. They're making a film about the fishermen that rescued people during Dunkirk, and they're trying to put out this film so that people still, have hope throughout the war period. And he wants to play the lead. He wants to play like the shiny lead, and they ask him to play this doddering old man, and he's so offended and he's so broken down, and his agent's like, look, you have to take this part because you are a doddering, broken down old man. And he does. And he's just so brilliant in everything he does. There's no part that he plays that isn't phenomenal. He's just one of the best.
Have you seen the Limehouse Golem?
No, I have not. Oh, yes, I did. Yes,
yeah,
with
that's
Sarah,
really good.
Sarah what's her name? Godon or something?
I saw
it. He's phenomenal. I mean, there's just so many. What was the one where he is like a hitman? There's one where he's with the kid from Harry Potter, the redheaded kid.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was called.
I mean, he's so intoxicating to watch. I just love him so much.
And in person, I have actually met Bill Nye.
Have you really?
I have, very briefly. It was very much a passing conversation. He was one of the ambassadors for a charity called Starlight, which is a bit like Make-A-Wish Foundation. And it was run by Blockbuster. And of course, I worked for Blockbuster back in the day. And we went to the big regional meeting at Wembley Stadium, and he was the ambassador and spoke on the stage. So we all got a chance to shake hands and say hello and do a bit. So he was lovely. I mean, he was very accommodating. I didn't really get to grill him on anything, but yeah, it was
he just seems like a fun time. He seems like a man who's really well read, really well traveled, has a lot of interest and can speak on kind of any topic and is funny. You know,
Yeah.
I just love funny always wins out with me.
Thank goodness for that. Go on then, Neil. You're number 7, please.
So this is another man with a voice that I can listen to for hours, but he's also a natural performer. Is Denzel Washington. I think he's an absolute legend, this man. Everything he does, even when he does action and the Equalizer films, he's just mesmerizing to watch. And he's always so calming, no matter what situation. Even when he's the bad guy, we think of Training Day. When you're listening to him talk, you're almost sucked in with Ethan Hawke, aren't you? When he's talking away and telling you all about what is and what isn't. Yeah, I just love the man. I think he's a genius and a legend. And again, another person when you listen to him in interviews is so well spoken, so articulate, and so clever in what he tells you and what he speaks about. Be more Denzel.
Yes. Who wouldn't want to be more Denzel?
Yeah.
I would even want to be more Denzel.
Yeah, and to top it all off, he's another great-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
To me,
Well,
I think he's such an attractive guy.
he's okay.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Donna has to say
He's
that because
so beautiful.
Bean's hanging around the corner somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you'd be forgiven for that, Donna. Everybody would
I
think.
think
Surely.
he's on my 5 that I'm allowed to pass for.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, that's good.
That's good.
Oh, who's the other 4, Donna? Who's the other 4?
Well, that'd be for the next top 10.
Yeah, we'll do the top 10.
Well,
yeah.
but
You
it'd be a
guys would-
top 5.
You guys would not be impressed. They're really like guys that work at CERN because I'm obsessed with particle physics. So if you just like read something like big words and scientific blah blah to me, I'm yours. I'm pretty easy that way.
Where do I put that
It's all these
thesaurus?
really-
I need to find that
really
dictionary.
ugly men.
It's boffins you like then, Donna, is it? You like
Yes.
boffins? Right,
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's a tagline, isn't
There's
it?
a
I love it. I like boffins. I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed.
I like boffins.
Okay, maybe we'll talk about Denzel a little bit later on as well. Maybe. My number 7 is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that's my number 5.
I don't know why I whispered that. I don't know why I whispered that, but he again is a little bit. Look, right. I'll go. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? He would be in my top 10 just for that performance.
Right.
Where he
For sure.
was, what was he, 14? I think he was 15
Yeah.
maybe when he did that. That performance on its own, when you look at that and someone says, how do you think his career is going to go? You would say he's going to be one of the greatest actors ever. Because that was, I remember watching that movie for the first time and I thought to myself, wow, they've got somebody that really has that condition to play that part.
Wow.
Because it was just,
That's a compliment.
I was watching it and I thought, wow, what an actor. What an amazing actor. And then, of course, he's done some. I mean, I'm as Neil is also. I'm not a massive Titanic fan, I must admit, but I think some of the decisions he's made as an actor over the last 15 years or so. Wolf of Wall Street is an absolute masterpiece, as far as I'm concerned.
And that
It
recent
is-
Netflix one, Don't Look Up.
Don't look
Don't
up.
look up.
So good.
Was
isn't it?
brilliant.
It wasn't
Loved
it?
it.
Really, really good.
Mhm.
And he's just making interesting movies. He could
Yeah.
quite easily get paychecks where he's, doing easy movies. Inception was another great one.
Do you remember years
Phenomenal.
ago? Because, like I said, he's my number 5. Do you remember years ago we did the film with De Niro, This Boy's Life?
Yes.
It's another great performance,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And I don't think he's ever
think I
really
saw
given
that.
I don't think he's given a bad performance. He might be in movies that I'm not fantastic. Catch Me If You Can's another great one. Where
The
he's
Revenant.
The Revenant. Oh,
Revolutionary Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Revolutionary Road's great.
It
it's
is a great
crazy.
movie, isn't it?
It's crazy what he's done, but yeah, I think he's well worth being in the top 10 for just
Gangs
being-
of New York.
Gangs of New York was the other one I was trying to
Right.
think of. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one we forget about how good a movie that is, and that's got some acting chops in it, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And he always puts himself up against good actors, so he has to raise his game. Whether it's Robert De Niro or whoever is opposite him in a scene, and he knows how to hold his own when it comes to.
Well, he's got the new one, the Scorsese one, where De Niro and him are finally together in a Scorsese movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been released the end of this year.
Wow.
4.5 hours long, though. Warning.
I don't understand. Can you do a top 10 of bloated movies? Because I just don't understand why anybody needs a 4-hour movie, a 3-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie max. Like, come on, get a diary. Like,
Yeah, every now and then
You
it
know?
works. Every now and then it works because I love The Irishman. I thought The
Yeah.
Irishman was great. Once Upon a Time in America, I think is one of the greatest films ever, and that's 4
Mhm.
hours.
Right. That is a phenomenal movie. So,
Yeah.
but I just think in general, all of these like
No, I'm with
epic
you. Yeah,
vanity opuses, just too much.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good 90-minute movie,
No,
is there? You know,
some of the greatest
you-
movies ever are only 90 minutes, aren't they?
Yeah, like Naked Gun. And,
American Werewolf in London.
American Werewolf in London.
American
Yeah.
Werewolf in London.
It's dead on 90 minutes, and it's a perfect movie.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Go on then,
watch
Donna.
that.
Your number 6, please.
Oh, my number 6. Let me get I need my specs. I don't have them. Brendan Gleeson.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
I'm sorry, but okay, we can talk about In Bruges for probably 4 hours. I would be happy to do a 4-hour film on why I love In Bruges. He's phenomenal. Paddington 2, though,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, just like a massive. I fell in love with him. He just is the best, crankiest, soft, gooey center criminal, like cafeteria worker you ever want to meet. And I thought that performance was so rich.
With
for
a great
somebody,
beard. He's got a great
Yeah.
beard in that as well.
great beard and all of his like knuckles tattoos,
Yeah.
and he's just, he can be so funny and so charming and so menacing, and he just everything. And of course in Banshees of Inisherin was, you just cringed every time he came onto the screen, because you just knew he was going to do something else that was horrible to Patrick. And
Yeah.
he doesn't have a limit. There's no line for him. I mean, he just commits so wholeheartedly that he is the character, and you 100% believe whatever it is he's selling you. And I think just including his spawn, his children, Donald and the other one who was just in the Bad Sisters film, his children are so talented as well. I mean, they just all have that quality of like truth, honesty, rawness to them that I think is amazing.
And he also does ham really well, if you know what I mean. He loves to smash and ham it up. If we think about the Harry Potter Mad-Eyed
Moody. Yeah,
he was really hammy and great fun. I'd love to see him do a bit more of that.
Yeah.
I love
But did
that.
you ever see a film of his? Was it Cavalry, where he played the priest who wanted to give up the priesthood?
No, I've not seen that.
But I would highly recommend
As a
that, because that is
priest.
solely his performance.
I love that. I
have
will
my-
I will absolutely put that on my list.
It might be the wrong name. I will have to look. I'm
Okay.
thinking off the top of my head. But yeah, he plays a priest who wants to give it up. It's
Okay.
phenomenal.
I'm down for anything he's doing.
2014 Cavalry. Yeah.
There you are.
Just had a look. There you go.
you.
Okay, so Neil, your number 6, please.
It is a good old Brit, Gary Oldman.
Yay.
Okay.
Gary Oldman, to me, is one of our greatest actors. He puts in 100% of all performances he does. Going right back to Sid and Nancy, how great he was in that. My Beautiful Laundrette, do you remember that? No, that wasn't him, was it? That was
Truly.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, Daniel Lewis was in that.
Yeah. But what was the other one he did? Prick Up My Ears. That's what I was thinking of, with Alfred. Was it Alfred Molina?
Alfred
wasn't
Molina,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. But I love him as Dracula. I think the man did the best Dracula
The
we've
best
ever
Dracula.
seen. Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
And then when he did The Finest Hour playing Churchill, we talk about people looking unrecognizable.
Yeah.
He was unrecognizable and sounded unrecognizable.
Yeah.
The man is a true method actor, isn't he?
He did a lot of damage to himself smoking those cigars in that film.
can
In that.
imagine.
Did he?
He did, because he was
Wow.
filming. He was smoking the exact cigars that Churchill smoked, and he was smoking like 20 a day. He got himself really ill.
But
So he's
plays-
a method act. I'm sorry, he's a method actor.
He is.
Yeah, very much. Very
Wow.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Leon, of course, in Leon, or The Professional.
Great
He's-
bad guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, totally sort of off his rocker, really is.
And then, well, he did it again in The Fifth Element, didn't he? And hammed it right up.
Yes,
Which was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he played Beethoven in Bernard Rose's?
Yes.
Oh, what was it? Was it? It
And,
wasn't Beethoven, was it?
Immortal Beloved.
That's it.
It was.
Yeah. Such
Great
He was
knowledge,
incredible.
Donna. Great
Well
knowledge.
done.
That is fantastic.
I'm
Well
actually
done.
loving Gary Oldman in Slow Horses. Have you
I've
guys picked up
I've not
Slow
started
Horses?
it yet.
Yeah,
I
I've-
will be watching it.
Brilliant.
I've heard good
It's
things.
just
I've heard good
genius.
things about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's genius.
But in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, I mean, there's another one where he. Oh,
And another
Man.
Harry Potter, another Harry Potter cast member.
oh yeah.
Truly.
I think pretty much everybody we've mentioned as well. They've all been in Harry Potter in some way. Kenneth Branagh was another one. Yeah, they're
Yes.
everywhere. Bill Nighy, Brendan Gleeson.
Mhm.
Was Bill Nighy in Harry Potter?
He was, yeah. I can't
Yeah.
remember the name of the character, but he was. He was in Deathly Hallows. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. My number 6. You just mentioned him, Neil. Actually, it's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Well, that's my number 2.
Is that your number 2? Okay, right. Again, just for There Must Be Blood, I think would be one of the reasons that he would be in anyone's top 10. He's somebody that genuinely he doesn't play the part, he lives the part. When he was Lincoln, I think the rumor was that he never spoke to anybody unless he was speaking in the Lincoln voice. He just lives it, and that's it. And then when he's finished doing the movie, he goes off and makes shoes in Italy or somewhere like that, and then comes back and makes another movie.
Well, he's retired now,
but
isn't he?
he's so say retired, yeah. So, but I think he's one of those guys that you can't see him acting.
No.
It's just natural with him.
Right.
I took the little clip of "I Drink Your Milkshake," and I ended up going down a rabbit hole of clips from there will be blood.
greatest.
Just watching stuff that he does, that is like, some of it is not even scripted. He will just like go off and start doing things. It's just mesmerizing to watch. There's just something about that guy when he's acting and he's in full flow.
Gangs of New York again.
Gangs of New York. That was another one. That one and
That
There
was
Will Be
brilliant.
Blood are just two.
Oh, I always got to put my left foot in there. That film. How I never knew when I first saw that. I mean, I was young. I genuinely, like you said about Leonardo, genuinely thought the guy had disabilities. I thought he was a real disabled actor. It was only afterwards, and then when I saw him in My Beautiful Laundrette, which is a beautiful movie. Yeah, the guy's a genius. And then he did a couple of Scorsese, didn't he? What, The Age of Innocence? Remember him in that?
Yeah.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a shame that someone like that. I mean, maybe it's just he feels he's done everything he needs to do as an actor, and that's
Well,
it. And,
if you think how much he puts into a role,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that becomes his life for 6 months.
yeah.
Must be
And then he went
exhausting.
full action star with Last of the Mohicans. He was fantastic in that.
Hmm?
It was so good. He could have easily
Stay
had-
alive no matter what occurs.
That's it.
Exactly.
As if you have a
Exactly.
choice, right?
Yeah, such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Right, we're halfway through, so it's time for this. Oh no, wrong button.
Oh, I thought it was going to be cocktails. Is it time for cocktails?
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
quiz,
It's
hot
always
shot.
cocktail.
Pop quiz, hot shot. We're gonna have a little bit of a quiz. Are you ready, Donna? Are you ready for this?
Nobody
We-
told me there was going to be a quiz.
We borrow this format from a very good podcast by a two-time Radio Hall of Famer. We borrow this format from.
That guy is a hack. I just want you to know that if it's a quiz of his, I will fail. He tries them all out on me first.
Well, these are all about living
I'm a
actors.
washout.
Okay, these are all
Okay.
about living actors. So, Donna,
Right.
as you are royalty, would you like to go first or second?
I would like to go second. Thank you.
Okay, so it's the first one to 3, and if you get it wrong, I will pass it over to the other person, and they have a chance to get the point. So, Neil, are you ready?
Yes,
What
I
comes
am.
next in this list of actors? Michael Keaton, Kevin Conroy, Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
Christian Bale.
Is correct. It is Christian Bale. That's a list of the Batman movies. First question for you, Donna. Who originally was cast as Marty McFly in Back to the Future and then replaced by Michael J. Fox?
I've never seen them.
No.
He was just I swear I've never seen them. He was just yelling at me the other day about that. I don't even know. I don't know. Tom Cruise?
It's not. Neil, do you know?
Eric Stoltz.
It was Eric Stoltz.
No.
They actually
Really?
filmed about 20%
I think you
of the
can
movie.
see a bit of it on YouTube.
You can see
yeah.
a bit of it on YouTube. Indeed, you can.
No.
Okay, Neil, for the win. This is for the win, Neil.
Oh no!
How
I'm
many
gonna get it
Golden
wrong.
Globes has Denzel Washington won?
Uh,
5.
Is not right. Donna, over to you.
3.
It was 2.
Oh.
It was 2. Okay, back
Wow.
to
They
you
were
then,
wrong.
Donna. Back to you.
Yay.
Is that right? Yeah, back to you, Donna. Yeah. Who is the British actor who played Nelson Mandela in the film Mandela: A Long Walk to Freedom?
David Oluwayo? Oh, come on!
Not Neil.
I'm sure I heard her say Idris Elba.
I thought
Oh,
I heard her say.
Idris.
I thought I
Yeah.
heard her say Idris Elba.
Are you serious? It was Idris?
It was Idris Elba. So we'll because you're royalty, you do get to get 1 point anyway.
I definitely
okay?
heard Idris Elba.
Okay.
Ew.
Neil, your
I
next
love
question for the win. In which movie did Tim Robbins win the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role?
Bull Durham.
It's not Bull Durham. Donna, any idea?
Shawshank Redemption.
No, it was Mystic
No?
River. It was Mystic
Oh,
River.
Okay.
Okay, back to you,
Who?
Donna. By what name is Sir Maurice Micklewhite, CBE, better known? Sir Maurice Micklewhite.
You better get this answer right.
Yes.
Oh, damn
Not
it.
many
That's very
people know
helpful of
that.
you.
Not many people know that. You're only supposed to answer the bleeding question. That's a
She
terrible
was only
impersonation.
16.
We're giving you some help there, Donna. They're terrible impersonations. I'll grant you that.
I don't know. I don't know. That's terrible.
Think
Think-
one
They're
of our
gonna-
greatest. He's old, quite old now. One
Yeah, I
of
think
our
he
greatest-
celebrated his 90th birthday not long ago, didn't he? Or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Oh, Master Wayne. Master Wayne.
Michael Caine?
Yes!
Hooray!
It was almost like he was here in the room with us there with that impersonation.
That's so weird.
There you go. So, what have we got? So, Neil, it's your question. Brad Pitt broke his arm whilst filming which film?
7? Because I know he injured his hand.
Is correct.
Oh, sorry, Donna.
Oh, and it's the win.
Wow.
It's the win. Well done, Neil. That's something. You're on a two winning run streak there.
But I
Unlucky,
will
Donna.
hand it
Unlucky,
over to Donna because she is.
Wait,
Royalty.
did I win the $1 million?
Yes.
Well, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
got an envelope here to do the
Oh,
sound
no.
effect, but never
Checks
mind.
in the post.
The check is in the post, indeed.
Thank
Anyway,
you so much.
back to our normal broadcast. And Donna, what's your number 5, please?
My number 5 is I'm gonna blush saying it. Wait, I need a moment.
Okay, all right then.
Tom Hardy.
All right,
yes.
okay.
Okay, can we just count down the many ways we love this man? Legend as Ronnie and Reggie Cray.
Yeah.
Hello, that's enough. But then there's Locke, where he
Oh,
is literally
Yeah.
in a car driving for
Yeah.
2.5 hours, and it's riveting.
yeah.
Dark Knight Rises as Bane, you know, this.
Yeah.
I love him. Let's see, Taboo,
Mm.
phenomenal series, Taboo. Venom 1 and 2 as Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Please.
He was great as that.
He's so funny. He's so good and so funny at playing like tormented and crazy and different voices. I mean, when I found out he was doing the voice of Venom, I was completely gobsmacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and he's I mean, and he's a former rapper. I mean, let's think about it. And he read Bear on a Chair for CBeebies.
He
Or
did.
He did.
CBeebies. And that got me through the pandemic. Like Tom Hardy reading me a bedtime story through the pandemic. Bless his heart. He's phenomenal. So
He is. Have you seen
Yeah.
Bronson, Donna?
Bronson.
There's one to watch. He plays one of our most notorious prisoners, who's still in prison at the moment, trying to get parole, funnily enough. He plays his life story in prison. It's phenomenally good. It really is good. And you'll
I
see a
will
lot of
watch
Tom Hardy.
anything he does. Oh, I mean, I love seeing a lot of Tom Hardy.
Oh,
We have a
you'll see
little
everything
pillow.
of-
We have a little pillow in our bed. We sleep. It's the little Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely see little Tom Hardy.
So we sleep with Tom Hardy every night. So yeah,
there
he's
you go.
charming.
Mad Max Fury Road, another great
Yeah.
one
Of course.
for him. Another
Yeah.
fantastic one. Yeah, he is great. See, he's another one I think would do well if he was chosen to be James Bond. I think he'd be.
He was
Oh,
he's been
God,
booted
yeah.
around for years. Wasn't he before even Daniel Craig was booted? He was put forward.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that. But yeah, Locke,
He would be marvelous.
Locke is an amazing film. When you
Stephen
explain it to
Knight, isn't
someone,
it?
yeah, you explain it to someone, you say it's a guy just talking to people in a phone, driving. People go, "Oh my God!" But it is it drags you in, and it's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Olivia Colman, I think, is who plays his wife.
Yeah, and like we said,
I think she plays the lover.
Is it the
she
lover?
plays the lover
it
that's
the
having
lover?
the baby. She's the one calling him, "This is my last chance to have a baby. Are you going to get here?" I mean, she's incredible in that. But I mean, there's so much that goes wrong in that film. Every second, every phone call, you're like, don't answer the phone. Don't switch over. Don't roll those calls, because it's always bad news. And he just stays like so even the whole way.
Yeah.
You can't take your eyes off of him.
And when he's having conversations with his father, like imagining that he's in the back. Oh,
I know.
It's like
Beautiful.
Sins of the Father. Great one. Neil, your number 5 was Leonardo DiCaprio. My number 5, we've done a whole podcast on him, so I had to put him in. It's Kevin Costner. I'm going to have Kevin Costner in there. Just go and listen to the Kevin Costner episode. You'll know everything you need to know about my feelings about that great man and that great actor and what he means to me. So I'm not going to go through it all.
What's your favorite performance of his? There we are.
Of his?
Yeah.
Well, Field of Dreams.
Would that be your all-time favorite?
That was my number 1, wasn't it? I think when we
did
Kevin Costner movies,
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just that I've said it a million times. It's a perfect movie. He is perfect in it. Great hair. That's all I got to say. He's just got great hair in that. That's my number 5. Okay, Donna, your number 4, please.
We skipped Neil because okay, I got it.
Yeah, I've already. Yeah, everyone knows my love for Kevin Costner. We don't have to go on.
My number 4 is Russell Crowe.
Oh,
Russell Crowe, Maximus, Decimus, Meridius.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better role. He's got so much gravitas. From there on, he could do anything, and it could be crap, and he's still that character. He's so moving in that. It's such a beautiful movie. I have a couple of films that I keep on repeat to watch over and over and over. Pride and Prejudice is one. Elf is one. Gladiator is one. And my husband can't figure that out. He's like, swords and sandals. That's weird. But it's so beautifully shot. It's so beautifully done. Everything that comes out of his mouth is with such intensity and feeling, and you feel yourself suffering the way he's suffering, and he's epic. So I mean, just we can talk about LA Confidential, we could talk about Cinderella Man, where he's the down on his luck boxer who's starving to death and has to fight and ruin himself to get his family back on, out of poverty. I mean, that was gorgeous. He's recently played, the disgusting Roger Ailes, who I don't know if you guys are familiar with, was the head of Fox News here and sexually assaulted like many women in his employ. And even that, like, you can't take, he is so, I don't know, he's just so great. He's so great. And of course he's Jor-El, he's Superman's father. So, I mean, I think we knew that he was. And The Water Diviner. Oh, I don't know if people have seen The Water Diviner. He's an Australian farmer during the Turkish wars where his sons get sent off to Gallipoli, and he uses the water divining rod to locate his sons and his sons' bones out on the battlefield. So beautiful.
Which is the movie he did with Ridley Scott where he's basically doing up a house in... is it A Good Year?
A Good Year. That's a wonderful one. That was based off of the book that gentleman wrote about his year in Provence.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was a great
Albert
movie.
Finney, Tom, who's the Tom Short? Tom. Oh God, I can't. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a great
Was it Scarlett
film.
Johansson in that or not?
No, it
Abby
was
Cornish.
Abby
Cornish,
Cornish
that's right.
and Marianne Cotillard.
That's right.
Yes, right.
Freddie Highmore.
Right.
Rafe Spall. Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, great movie. But have you seen his first where he got sort of noticed, Romper Stomper? Have you seen that?
Romper Stomper? No, but I love the title.
It's an awesome, yeah, you might not love the movie. It's quite a hard watch. It's basically about the skinheads in Australia, and he's the leader of the skinheads. But again, it's it's supposed to be uncomfortable because it's taking you into that world. But his performance in that is just, no wonder he got spotted. It broke through a very low budget film. And wasn't he in Neighbours?
Wow.
I think he was in a good old Australian Neighbours as well.
Oh, I think he was. That's kind of a soap opera, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Where he met his wife, I think.
Yeah, 4 episodes of Neighbours. Yeah, Kenny Larkin he played.
That's adorable.
There you go. The Quick and the Dead was another one that he was. That he was in, which is
The Insider.
The Insider.
The Insider was great.
Oh, wasn't
right?
That a good movie?
He's done some.
Right.
Master and Commander was a great movie.
Yeah.
310 to Yuma. American Gangster, which I watched not long ago, is another great one. Yeah, he's done some great movies. Yeah. He really has. Yeah. And he's one of the Nice Guys. Was a very underrated movie. Him and Ryan Gosling. It's a great film set in the 70s. America. That was just.
And I think he was unfairly criticised for his singing in Les Mis. There you go. I don't think he's as bad as everybody says.
He was Javert. Yeah, he was. I mean, if Johnny Depp can have a rock band,
Yes.
Russell Crowe can sing French opera. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I thought he was okay.
Totally
I watched it again not so long ago, and I thought, I don't see why all the hate. I mean, he's not Hugh Jackman, but then who is? But
I think the thing they sang it all live on set, didn't they? There was no overdubbing of the in a fancy studio. It was all done while they were acting. So that's hard. That's tough. Unhinged is another good one. If any of you guys have ever seen that, I haven't
seen that yet. Is that good?
From a couple of years ago. Yeah, he just plays a guy that gets sort of, he's unhinged, but gets cut up in traffic in LA. I think it is, and just goes off on one.
Which I can completely understand.
I imagine you can.
Oh my God! I was just in Los Angeles last week. I called Bean and I said I just want to pull over on the side of the road and cry.
Really?
I'm just gonna stay here till it's dark. I'm just gonna pull over and weep.
Lord.
Yeah, I get how people go crazy there.
Okay, then Neil, you're number 4.
So it is our wonderful Al Pacino. Moreover than his earlier stuff, and he's not the big hack. Although I do think he is really good in Hunters. If anybody's seen the Prime video,
yes,
I think he's brilliant in that, and that's a great show. Not enough people have watched that show. But I love his early stuff. I love Dog Day Afternoon. Is probably one of my favorite of his movies. Obviously, The Godfathers, especially The Godfather 2, where he's just cold and heartless. I think in the 70s and into the 80s, and then he had a bit of resurgence when Scent of a Woman came out, because he did the weird Revolution film, didn't he? Was it Revolution or whatever it was called?
That's right. Yeah.
And then he did not Scent of a Woman. What's the one where he came back as the policeman with Ellen Birkin in?
Sea of Love.
Sea of Love.
Yeah, which I still think is such a great film. Great film. And then he had a bit of a resurgence, didn't he? And then he sort of went a bit hammy, and we knew what to expect. Although he doesn't do it so much in The Irishman. We talked about The Irishman earlier.
No.
I think he's very good in The Irishman.
That kind of stopped me putting him in my top 10, is the fact that he can get a little bit
Yeah, his latest
She
stuff.
had a great ass. That kind of stuff. Just it's
And
just a bit.
but that's from a great film, though, isn't
I
it?
know it is, but it's like there's no need. There's no need to read that line like
No.
that. It's just so over the top.
Well, the oohs that were
The
in Scent of a
ooh-ahs,
Woman.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But and to think that's when he got his, was it his first Oscar? Was it A Scent of a Woman?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Crazy.
So. Yeah.
And when you think that he did those earlier movies, oh dear. Cruising, William Friedkin film. Very, very odd. Quite uncomfortable.
I haven't seen Cruising, but Scarface, of course.
Of course.
Like,
yeah.
How did he not win an Oscar for that? So
that's true. Good one though, Neil. Good one.
Yeah.
My number 4 is someone that hasn't made a movie since 2004, and I'm glad that we're doing this now as living actors, because I think he's 90 or something as well. But Gene Hackman. He's somebody that, again, I could watch just all the time. It doesn't matter what it is. I think he is the quintessential Lex Luthor. I think he is the greatest Lex Luthor there's ever been. And the trouble is, I think because all the Lex Luthors that's come after have seen him and have tried to do something completely different. But I think the way that he played it with a little bit of a glint in his eye, a little bit of mischief. Obviously he's evil, but cartoony is maybe playing it down too much. But comic booky, he's a very comic book Lex Luthor. But just as an actor, Mississippi Burning, I think, is my one of my favorite ones of his. It's just so intense, and he's one of those guys that if he's playing somebody that is on your side, you're glad to see him up on the screen because you know that he's on your side. You don't want him to be against you. You want him to be in your corner. So you just feel that little bit safer when you know that Gene Hackman's there, because he always looks like he's a guy that can look after himself. It doesn't matter what kind of movie it is, but he's always, if he's in your corner, you know you're safe. You know you're going to be all right. So I don't know what you guys think about...
Unless he's in the guy that he plays in Unforgiven.
Exactly. Well, Unforgiven, The Quick and the Dead as well.
He was... But Unforgiven, he was...
I have to ask, do you have a little blankie with his face on it to keep you like cuddled at night?
That'd be a great idea. That'd be a great idea. With his face,
you seem a little smitten. You seem kind of like he's your soft spot. He's your safe person.
I might get one made, but with his Lex Luthor head. I might have it with a Lex Luthor head, so I can have that.
Well, why don't you get a full size one of him from the Royal Tenenbaums in his tracksuit?
Oh yes,
great idea.
No, he was wearing. Was he in a tracksuit?
We had the head, didn't he?
No, that was Ben Stiller. Is in the tracksuit. All his little fat children are in the matching tracksuit.
That's right.
He wears like those. He wears those really natty like two-piece or double-breasted suit.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good.
That is a great movie,
for real. Yeah. That's an amazing role.
But he is. I mean, I forgot that he was in Wyatt Earp as well. The Kevin Costner movie. But he had
Behind Enemy Lines.
Another good one. Another one, Crimson Tide. Get Shorty. What a great movie.
He does a Hollywood sort of supporting role really well, if you know what I mean. It brings that movie up a bit, doesn't it? Didn't it?
No Way Out as well with Kevin Costner. The spy movie.
Oh, right.
Great movie.
He's great in that.
Great movie.
French Connection. You never mentioned French Connection.
Yeah. And French Connection too.
Yeah.
Popeye Doyle. Yeah. Donna, your number 3, please.
I don't know if my number 3 is going to play in the UK because he's such an American icon, but Kyle Chandler. Kyle Chandler is really well known here for playing Coach Eric Taylor in Friday Night Lights. And he is the moral compass of every good man. He's the husband that you're never going to lose. He's always going to be in your corner. He's the dad that's always got your back. He's the coach that's always there to pick you up off the ground and help you rebuild. And there's never, ever, 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 ever a scene or a time where he doesn't do the right thing. He's so inspiring. I have friends. I have literally tons of friends who coach their kids football and coach their kids in all these things. And they're like, I just want to be Coach Taylor. He is full eyes, clear heart. No, he's clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. He's everything. So, and I think he's also been in Zero Dark 30, if you want to talk about film. He's been in Godzilla. He played that really like hilarious in the Godzilla movie with Jack Black and Adrian Brody. He was the actor. He was like, he would, look at himself in the mirror and be like, he was just too pretty for words.
Yeah.
He's a lovely, lovely actor. He finally won his, I think he finally won a Golden Globe for playing Coach Taylor. So.
Right. He was
he's
the
my
dad
number
in
3
Super
pick.
8 as well.
Yeah.
If anybody
yes,
can,
Super 8.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
He was also, I don't know if you guys have Grey's Anatomy, but he played the SWAT commander in Grey's Anatomy when somebody had an actual bomb inside their body. He was the guy like holding onto that bomb, walking it out of the hospital, and got blown up. And you were just like, so yeah. I think he won an Emmy for that as well. He's epic.
Yeah, he was the FBI agent in The Wolf of Wall Street as well. That's where I remember seeing him as well.
Right.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's one of those guys that creeps up in a lot of things, and like I think maybe over here because I don't think I've never seen Friday Night Lights, and I don't think any.
They used to put it on channel ITV. Like,
did they?
Oh,
really late at
you
night
have to
on
watch
a Friday.
it.
Right.
I've only ever seen the movie.
It's not a football. It's not a football series. It's a series about relationships, and it's so moving. And really, even when he's wrong, he's right, and when he's wrong, he course corrects so beautifully, and he's just every husband wants to be him. I asked Bean when he had him on as a guest one time if he could get him to sign my cervix with his penis pen, and he declined. Strangely. Fine. But I still feel like there's hope for us somewhere in there. So
I've never heard that before.
I love it.
You need to trademark that, Donna. That needs to be a T-shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
I love
anyway,
it.
Kyle's my number 3.
Okay, that is so good. Okay, I think I found the clip for the promo for this episode now with that little bit there. Go on then, Neil. You're number 3.
So it's Harvey Keitel. I've always been a huge fan of Harvey Keitel. From when I first got introduced to him in my teens, watching him in Mean Streets, being the bad pimp in Taxi Driver, but then getting into the early 90s where he did brave roles like The Piano, Bad Lieutenant, and things like that. Oh, Reservoir Dogs, obviously, we shouldn't forget at all, because if it wasn't for Harvey Keitel, Quentin Tarantino wouldn't have the career he's got now. Let's not forget that. But I find him mesmerizing to watch when he acts, especially when he does these brave roles that you don't normally see. Even when he does bad films, he's another one that's still very good. What was the one he did with another Abel Ferrara movie? He did with Madonna, didn't he? And he had the weird long hair. He's very odd in that, but he was still very good. But I love his ethos where he will do one for the studio and one for himself. So he gives himself up and does things like National Treasure, and it is like that. And then he'll go and do something brave. And I am going to mention it again in The Bad Lieutenant. I think it's one of the bravest performances I've ever seen any actor do. He really does open and bear all in every sense of the way. So, yeah, I love a bit of Harvey.
I didn't even think about Harvey Keitel, I must admit. From Dusk Till Dawn, he was great.
Yeah, of course. He plays different types in every movie, doesn't he? I mean, it was Thelma and Louise. Remember?
Oh, right.
He was
Brad
the
Pitt was
caring
in that as well.
cop. Yeah, the caring policeman. He's the one with the heart who was listening for what those ladies wanted.
Yeah.
You mustn't forget that, and he did it so well.
Good one. Good one, Neil. Good one. My number 3 was Jack Nicholson, so we've already spoken about him. So, Donna, back to you for your number 2.
I'm torn about my number 2 because I'm almost thinking I should make it my number 1.
Decisions.
Watch me do a quick swap here. Oh my God, I just can't. I don't know. I can't. All right, so my number 2, which could be my number 1, is Matthew McFadden.
Oh,
okay.
Mr. Darcy.
Matthew McFadden, Mr. Darcy. When I saw Matthew McFadden portray Mr. Darcy, after they'd had that big scene where she's like, from the first moment I met you, your arrogance and conceit and your constant disdain for the feelings of others made me realize you're the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry. And he was like, he went from being this prideful, arrogant, rich boy to this crushed man in love. And then at the end, it breaks down to him telling her he loves her, but he's like, I love you. And I mean, my heart stopped. I think every woman in anywhere that had seen that performance thought there's no better actor than that at that moment. You're just so won over. And he's not always played pretty boy parts. I mean, he's done Spooks, and he's done Ripper Street, and he's done Death at a Funeral, and now he's playing in America. He's playing Tom Wamsgam in Succession,
yeah,
which is a very unlikable character. Very unlikable.
Is there any likable characters in Succession? I don't think there is there?
As we're watching, I mean, we're riveted by this last season, absolutely, the final season. I know that people think there are no likable characters. Tom and Greg together are the greatest couple you will ever meet. Tom and cousin Greg, and their weird, psychosexual, platonic, buddy, like banter, back and forth relationship it's just, I don't know. I can't tear my eyes away from them. They're hilarious and despicable, and you want to hate them, but you can't, because kind of like you were talking about Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. You're like, he's so likable. He's a villain, and he's so likable, and he's just wonderful. I mean, he can do anything. I saw him reading a Shakespeare sonnet in a cafe, drinking coffee, and his voice, the undulations of his voice, it's so beautiful, and he's got that same kind of gravitas I think that Russell Crowe has. So I put him as my number 2, though he could have been my number 1. Wow. In my heart, he's my number 1.
Okay.
No. And who's he married to? Is somebody famous?
Keely Hawes.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I know. Is she the luckiest woman, and he's the luckiest man? They're so adorable together. That's acting royalty right there.
Yeah. I don't know if either of you guys have seen Quiz. Did you see Quiz, where he plays Charles Ingram?
I was thinking of the Robert Redford movie.
No.
Quiz show.
No.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Same kind of thing though. The cheating scandal for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That's right. It. Yeah. With who played Chris Tarrant? I forgot his name.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Yes.
He was fantastic as Chris Tarrant. Yeah, that was incredible. Okay, so Neil, you said Daniel Day-Lewis for number 2. My number 2 was Tom Hanks. So before we reveal our number 1s, Donna, do you want to give us a rundown from 10 to 2?
Okay.
Neil will do the same. I'll do the same, and then we'll reveal our number 1s.
Okay. My number 10 was 2 people. It was Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry for their performance in Bullet Train. Number 9, Kenneth Branagh. Number 8, Christian Bale. Number 7, Bill Nye. 6, Brendan Gleeson. 5, Tom Hardy. 4, Russell Crowe. 3, Kyle Chandler. 2, Matthew McFadden.
Lovely. Neil, your 10 to 2, please.
Okie dokie. At number 10, I had Morgan Freeman. At number 9, Tom Hanks. At number 8, Jack Nicholson. Number 7, Denzel Washington. Number 6, Gary Oldman. Number 5, Leonardo DiCaprio. Number 4, Al Pacino. Number 3, Harvey Keitel. And number 2, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Lovely. And mine is number 10, Ralph Fiennes. 9, Adam Driver. 8, Brad Pitt. 7, Leonardo DiCaprio. 6, Daniel Day-Lewis. 5, Kevin Costner. 4, Gene Hackman. 3, Jack Nicholson. And 2, Tom Hanks. So, Your Majesty, what is your number 1 living actor?
I have to say my husband was very, very surprised by this number 1, but I don't think that he found any way to disagree with it. My number 1 is Bill Murray.
Oh, Bill Murray.
We just need to talk about Stripes and Ghostbusters and Scrooge and Groundhog Day and Rushmore and Isle of Dogs and every Wes Anderson movie, and in Hamlet as Polonius and the Royal Tannenbaums and Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou and Broken Flowers, Darjeeling Limited. And what about Bob? I mean, the man, Lost in Translation, the man is brilliant. He's
Yeah.
genius. He's funny. He's dramatic. He's intense. He's psychotic. He's blithering idiot. He's a genius. It's like, and he has a flip phone and no agent, and you just call him and he won't get back to you. He just shows up the day you're filming. I mean, I think there's something really remarkable about a person who can act and sing, and he does his cabaret act. His like Christmas piano cocktail act. He's a genius. And so I felt like there was no way I couldn't make him my number one. You know, he's not the pretty boy. He's not everybody's type of leading man. But I mean, I think he has the greatest number of things that he can play that he just can't get wrong. So
it must be great to have a life like that, mustn't it? Where you just, I'm going to turn up if I want to. If I don't, well,
I'm going to play a tree.
Yes.
I mean,
did you see him on Graham Norton with I think Matt Damon was on there, and he got them all pissed, didn't he?
No, I didn't see that.
Have a look. He made them all
that.
keep pouring them wines, and he made every guest have them, and then they all had to down them in one, and they were all getting more and more sloshed. And Matt Damon, you can tell, is pissed.
Oh, poor thing.
Right.
Because they were doing that movie. What was it? The movie, the Army one with George Clooney as well.
Oh,
The Monument Men.
The
Monument Men.
Yeah, that's
right.
a good movie.
Yeah.
As well. And one of the greatest cameos in movie history as well in
Zombieland.
Zombieland, yeah, where he plays himself. So good.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Go on then, Neil. You're number one.
I don't think it'll be any surprise to you, Pav, and maybe some people who listen to me, but it's Robert De Niro.
Right.
I love that guy. I absolutely love his performances. I even forgive Rocky and Bullwinkle because I think the guy is fantastic. And I've been in love with his movies forever. I mean, Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, all the early Scorsese stuff, Raging Bull, and then we go into the 80s and he carried it on. But there's other films that people don't seem to mention that he's fantastic in. I don't know whether you've ever seen it, Donna. 1900 with Gerard Depardieu and Donald Sutherland's in it. It's a Bertolucci film, and it's beautiful. Okay. And I would highly recommend people watch that. People don't seem to see it. The Deer Hunter, you either love it or don't. I love it. I think De Niro in that is superb. I find him mesmerizing. We've used this time and time again. But I love the way he absolutely engulfs all the character. He takes on everything about them and becomes a method man. He is the ultimate method actor, isn't he? Let's be honest. And I'm so excited for this new Scorsese movie with DiCaprio. I really am. I'm just looking at the pictures they've released now of it. I just think, oh, this looks good. And the fact that it's got one of the biggest budgets ever that Netflix have ever supplied makes The Irishman look poor. So,
wow. That's
I think it's,
and he's just become a father again at the age of 79.
He has.
Can you even believe that?
Yeah, it's just a shame he's too old to pick the baby up, but you know.
Yeah. Right. He's signing someone's cervix with his penis pen,
I know.
hasn't he?
I don't, just as a woman, I don't necessarily think that's fair that we go through menopause and then all we've got is like cobwebs and broken dreams and old doll shoes down there, and they're still like squirting out kids at 79. That's not fair.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It
doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
He's the man.
But there you go. You know, he obviously, he's got the money to be able to have nannies and whatever, so he's not going to be getting up at 4 a.m. to feed the baby or anything, is he? But
right.
But I've always said everybody loves at least one Robert De Niro movie.
Oh yeah, without
yeah, absolutely.
Great one. I am surprised that is the only appearance of Robert De Niro in all three of our top tens. Just you at number one. But there you go. That's just.
I'm a huge fan.
That's the beauty of it. Because he's not my number one. My number one is Denzel Washington. I'm having Denzel Washington as my number one. And I'll tell you what, if it's only for Fences, I don't know if either of you guys have seen Fences.
Yeah.
If there's two movies in my mind that I think are masterclass. And of anybody that wants to be an actor, they watch those movies. One is Fences, and the other one is Glengarry Glen Ross. If you want to be an actor and study the art of acting, they're the two movies you need to watch. And I will put it on the video playlist for our Patreon supporters. There's footage of him on stage doing like the famous Why Don't You Like Me scene from Fences,
Yeah.
where it's the live show. And it's weird how with a live audience, it plays almost like a comedy. That interaction between him and his son, when he's, why, whoever told you that I've got to like you kind of thing. It's in the movie, it's heartbreaking, but it's weird how a live audience looks at that, and when they're watching that, they are laughing at certain, like it's a setup and a punchline. It's really, really strange, but I'll put it in the video playlist for our.
But he did that on
supporters.
He did that on Broadway for ages, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But I mean, not much happens in the movie, but it is just acting. Do you know what I mean? It's just
acting,
total,
darling.
It is, but
Right.
it's not overacting, if that makes sense. What's Viola Davis? Is it?
That's it.
Yes, with her snot.
Just- oh
she's
my
they're
God.
having that argument in the backyard. I was
Yeah.
gutted. I
Yeah,
was gutted.
yeah.
They're
I watched
brilliant together.
the woman king. Is it called?
Mhm.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. It's supposed to
Really
be amazing,
good.
isn't it?
Really, and she is amazing in it. So when we do our top 10 living actresses or lady
Spoiler.
actors, she'll be in there. She may not be my number one, but I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, so Denzel is my number one. So we'll just quickly
Brilliant.
shoot through these honourable mentions. Stu Grant said Bruce Campbell, Crispin Glover, Jack Nicholson, Brad
Glover.
Pitt, Bill Murray, Anna Cochran, hello Anna, said Clint Eastwood, Michael Keaton,
Okay.
Benicio del Toro,
Oh, yeah.
and Sam Elliott. He's my all-time fave.
Great actor.
Kim Peniston said, I've always been a massive fan of Brad Pitt for obvious reasons, but the actor at the moment for me these days is Timothée Chalamet. He is such an intriguing
Truly.
young man who has played many different roles
Yeah.
and has the ability to make each one his own. And he's soon to be Wonka, isn't he?
He is.
Filming that.
I think that he will definitely end up on one of these lists in his future. He's got
Yeah.
he's got a
that
lot
potential,
ahead of
hasn't he?
him.
What's the
Yeah,
one he
for
did with
sure.
Steve Carell? Beautiful Boy, was it? Beautiful. Did you
Oh, I
see
don't
that
know.
about the drug addiction?
All right, no.
Oh,
No.
both of that's a beautiful
Mm-mm.
movie to watch. Well,
Mm-mm.
it's a hard watch again, but I love it when Steve Carell does the straight and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, he's
yeah.
good in that. Yeah, yeah.
He's a very fine
Mary
actor, so.
Mary Kay says Tom Hanks is my number one. Also love Gary Oldman and Alan Rickman. Rest
well,
in
Alan
peace.
Rickman, no longer
Yeah.
with us, bless.
Armando Rutledge, tough category. Do you do ties? He says Armando. So Tom Hanks, Jack Nicholson, and Morgan Freeman. Larry Sala says Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Idris Elba, Tim Roth, Joaquin Phoenix, Gary Oldman, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington. And Corinne Pastor says Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, despite his occasional rants, Jack Nicholson, Colin Firth, Richard E. Grant, Tom Hanks,
Right.
and finally Brad Pitt. Kit Taubin says Russell Crowe, Daniel Day-Lewis, Jeffrey Rush, and Joaquin Phoenix, a true craftsman. Other notables would be Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks. Not the greatest actors, but I always seem to love movies with Harrison Ford and Kevin Costner. And Jen Berg says, geez, this is way more difficult, but I do enjoy me some Steve Coogan.
Okay.
So there you go.
Steve makes me so uncomfortable.
Who?
Steve Coogan.
I'm one of those people that when I watch British comedy, English comedy, it's so cringy. You get so cringy over some of the things that they do that are just so inappropriate or so like those moments. And I get that with The Office, and I
Yeah.
get that with Steve Coogan. There's just something about him, but I think that's his brand is awkward, uncomfortable, pauses. He's
You're
just
right. Did you see
he's
him?
really-
Did you see him as Stan Laurel in Laurel and Hardy?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I
so
loved
good.
that film. I thought it was beautiful. I really
So
did.
good.
And John C. Reilly can
Yes.
do no wrong, obviously. He's immensely talented and a really underrated actor as a supporting role always.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
great. But yeah.
We will just say, Corinne Pastor, hello. You're one of our latest Patreon
Hello,
subscribers.
Corinne.
So you are now a top head.
Yay!
You are now a top head. So we will be having Corinne join us, just like Donna is joining us here.
Aw. that's so
So
sweet.
we done it. We've done it, Donna. Yes.
Yay!
We got living actors done.
Well, I
And,
hope it wasn't too intolerable. I
Oh,
still thank you for asking me. I'm really
It's an
Donna,
absolute
flattered.
pleasure.
It
We could do
was
it all night. Let's put
our
it like
pleasure.
that.
Aw,
We could
you're
do it
so
all
sweet.
night. Even
Let's
if it's
do it
just,
all night.
Let's do it all night.
I have my
Even
penis pencil.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if it's
My
just,
cervix is ready.
we could do it from here, Donna. I'm sure
Yeah.
we just fling over the Atlantic, and
We'll have a
Oh,
bloody
God.
good go.
we'll have a bloody good go.
I hope so. Well, thank you for having me. It was such
Donna,
a joy.
honestly, thank you so much, and hopefully
it's
you'll
been
come
our
and join us
pleasure.
again. We'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, I would
Yeah?
love to. I'll sneak in. I'll come get you when I'm there.
Absolutely, you make sure
Sold.
you do that.
I'll
Before
show
we-
up back here in your little background.
Yes. Before we actually say our goodbyes, Neil, do you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch with us and all that gubbins?
Of course I can. So you can find us on all the social medias. Give us a click, give us a like, give us a follow at Top 10 Pods. Email us at toptenpods@hotmail.com with any questions you may have or anything you'd like to ask us. Please do drop us a line. Come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/Top 10 Pods. All sorts of rewards, like you heard. You could even be a guest yourself. Check out all the links via the Linktree. The link will be in the show notes, I'm sure. And please come and subscribe and leave us a rating, review, and anything else you do where you get your podcast from.
Wonderful.
I'm distracted by a
done.
cervix.
I know. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Donna. It's
Thank
been an
you.
absolute joy
My
to meet
pleasure.
you.
Your Majesty.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You were an absolute delight. I'm
We
so
doff our
flattered.
caps to you,
Yes.
and we bow out of the room backwards. And for everybody else, thank you for watching, listening, and let's go find my penis pen.
10, 9,